Hi, this is Michael from MVR Music Lessons. This is my third lesson, and now we're going to talk about chords. And if you notice, I still have all these keys labeled, and right now I have up my sharp diagram. That's the one I'll be working with right now. But in future lessons, I'm not going to have these labeled. You need to have them memorized, because otherwise it's kind of like a handicap. We can't really, learn music theory and have this up the whole time. So later on, I'm not going to have that, but since we're working on chords, this is the first time I'm really doing anything kind of advanced. It's not too advanced, but we're not just memorizing notes. We're actually going to get into some actual concepts of music. I figured it would be nice if I had these notes up for you so you didn't have to think too much about it. It'd be easier to understand this way. So I'm going to go straight into it right now. Let's go ahead and talk about major chords. Now, a major chord, I'll write it out for you. Major chords have a happier sound. I have my piano set up, so I will play a major chord in just a second so you can see what I mean. Now, a major chord, we're going to talk about intervals first, but just for right now, let me write out a few things, then I'll get into what it means. Major chords have an interval of a major third and a minor third. It uses three notes. So we have a note here, a note here, and a note here. That was a little sloppy. Let me fix that. Note here, note here, note here. So the first note to the second note, that interval is going to be a major third. And now this note to this note is going to be a minor third. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say we started on C. A major third is going to be something called two whole steps. Now, a whole step is just an entire step, so we're going to skip a note. A step is skipping a note. A whole step would be like that. We went from C to D because we skipped a note. A half step would be if we went straight to the note next to it. And that's true for going up or going down the keyboard. So from A, a whole step down would be a G, and a half step down would be, well, since we're going down, we would say an A flat, but technically right now on this I have it labeled a G sharp. But it could be either an A flat or a G sharp. These black keys are actually, they could be two notes, each of them. And right now, they're just two notes. It could be weird. We could have like a double sharp or something like that, but no, don't worry about that right now. Just know that a whole step is skipping a note, and a half step is just going straight to that note, and that's true up or down. Now, if we had an E, a whole step, if we skipped a note, it would be this F sharp right here. That's a whole step. A half step would go to the F. So back to our little thing here. A major third. In a scale, you don't have every single note. You have 7, 8 if you include the double. So in C major, don't worry about this too much right now, but just know that in C major we're using all of the white keys. So for right now we're just going to ignore these except for when we're counting past them for whole steps and half steps and stuff. But in C major we have a C, D, E, F, G. They're all what we would say is natural. If they're not sharp or flat, they're natural. So we have C all the way through another C, and every note's going to be natural. So now we say a third because we include this note and the one that we end on. So 1, 2, 3. From C to E, that's a third. Now a major third is when you have two whole steps. So a whole step up from C is D, and another one is to E. Now, a minor third would be a whole step and then a half step. So, a whole step would be D, and then a half step is D sharp. So a minor third up from C is D sharp. But we don't need a minor third, we need a major third. So we're going to go to the major third, which was an E, and that interval is major third. Now we're going to do a minor third, so we said it was a whole step and then a half step. So a whole step would be to F sharp, then a half step is to a G. If I'm going too fast, rewind the video, look over it again. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. If I am, let me know, and I'll slow down in future lessons. But from E to G, that's the minor third. So there's our intervals. We have C, E, and G. Now I'm going to go play this on my piano, and you can see what it sounds like. So you can see how that has a happier sound to it. Now we're going to talk about minor. I'll leave all this up so you can see it, but we're going to work on minor over here now. So minor, oh, and by the way, this little line over the minor is just to make sure that you know it's a lowercase m. Capital M means major, lowercase is minor. And sometimes it's hard to tell, so every once in a while you'll put that little line. That's not always used, but it can be, and I usually use it, so it's just easier to tell the difference. Anyways, we're doing minor, so now we're going to learn a new pattern, and it's actually really easy to remember. It's a sloppy M. There we go. So now it works the same way. We have 3 notes, and in between 2 notes is an interval, and in between these 2 notes is an interval. And a major chord starts off with a major third. A minor chord starts off with a minor third. So notice that. That's really easy to remember. And then the one that comes after it is just the one you didn't use yet. So we have major and minor. For a minor chord, we use minor, then major. For a major chord, it's major, then minor. So we're going to go ahead and start on this A for our minor chord. Now for minor chords, you might be able to figure this out from what I taught you in the major if you look right here. The minor interval of a minor third is going to be a whole step and a half step. So we go up to a C. And now we need a major third up from C, which if you remember from over here would be an E, but if you didn't remember that, you would just count up and you go, okay, whole step, whole step. So that means that E would be the major third up from C. So now we have our intervals for that, and now we understand major and minor chords. I'm going to go play that minor chord on my piano so you can kind of see how that sounds. And right after I play the minor, I'll go back to the major. I'll let you know when I'm switching, and you'll be able to hear the difference of how one sounds happy and one sounds sad. The major's happy, and the minor is sad. That's the basics of it. I mean, you can use them in certain contexts and it might sound a little different, but just by itself, that's what it sounds like. So I'm going to go play this A, C, E chord right now, minor. It's going to be an A minor chord. Whatever note you start on, that's what kind of minor it is. So this is an A minor chord. Now I'm going to play the C major. I'll play A minor again, just a little bit lower on the keyboard. It's still the same notes, it's just different octave. And that way you'll be able to hear it a little bit better. So you can see the difference. One is happy, one's sad. That's the basic way to remember it. Now, I'm going to get into some other types of chords in my next video, but this is it for this video. In my next video, I think I'll leave up this diagram just for the next video, but after that, I'm going to go ahead and take it down. We'll just have a blank keyboard whenever we're talking about a keyboard. We won't always talk about a keyboard. You know, every lesson isn't going to look like this, but to get the basics, we need to use a keyboard. So anyways, I'll see you in the next lesson. Make sure you check out my website, mvrmusiclessons.webs.com. That website has free music lessons and free music theory lessons. The lessons that I give are for guitar, both electric and acoustic. I give piano lessons and violin lessons. I'll be adding videos whenever I can, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this video.